Shall we move on to boxing? Considering
Yes.
the fallout to Oleksandr Usyk defeating Tyson Fury in Riyadh last weekend. The win for Usyk sets up an intriguing selection of possible fights in 2025, as well as raising questions about the future of some of boxing's biggest stars. Joining us then for more on all of this, it's boxing correspondent Gareth A Davies. How you doing, Gareth?
Morning,
Very
Gareth.
well. Morning, Natalie. Good morning, Dino. How are you?
Are you out on that seafront in Southend this morning?
I'm not, but I might be a little later. I think we'll have a nice bike ride there today, actually, before I head up, before I see my kids later on. So,
Fabulous.
I might bump into you.
I'm not there.
Oh, you're not?
Too cold. Too cold.
Let's save our Christmas questions to the end, shall we? Because let's get to boxing matters straight away. First of all, a few days on after that fight between Usyk and Fury, and we know that Fury was not happy with the decision. What did you make of it all? Do you now, as I say, looking back on it after a few days, do you still firmly believe that the judging and the scoring was all right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very close fight. I had it just by a round to Usyk, and the first round drawn, 6 rounds to Usyk, 5 to Fury. It was just an unfortunate night for Fury that the judges didn't see it his way. It was a very difficult fight to score. But I don't have any argument with Usyk winning. I wouldn't have had any argument with it being a draw. I didn't see it 3 rounds to Fury. But there were at least 5 swing rounds in that fight where you could have gone either way. But I think as the dust settles, my feeling is, if they want to, there could be more rounds in the tank for those two to fight each other in a ring. It feels a little bit like it's somewhat incomplete. Listen, Usyk's the number 1 of the era. He's proven it. I put him number 7 in the all-time list of heavyweights, just after Mike Tyson and just before Evander Holyfield now. Muhammad Ali and Lennox Lewis and Muhammad Ali at the top. I think Usyk had Fury's number in there on Saturday night in lots of ways, and that's not to diminish what Tyson Fury did, because he was much improved in the fight. But Usyk was the general in there, and I was quite happy with the result. I wasn't disappointed for Fury, but didn't think there was anything untoward that went on in terms of the judging.
Gareth, I heard you talking yesterday about waiting for the dust to settle to see if there's going to be a trilogy, or they're going to, get it on again. But I was just looking at Fury. I'm not an expert in boxing, obviously, but coming in the ring at 20 stone, do you think it done him good or adverse effect on it?
I think it worked for him, because he was trying to use his height and weight advantages against Usyk, but Usyk wriggled out when they were close. He was very clever with his footwork, and Fury wasn't able to impose himself physically. I mean, he wasn't able to. They went 12 rounds, so he was able to impose himself in a certain way, and it was close enough. But I think he had to be heavier. I think it was he had to have that method, but it just didn't work. Usyk had brilliant footwork in the last third of the fight when Fury tried to start leaning on him. It didn't work. Usyk wriggled out and he threw the left, or he wriggled out and he threw a couple of rights. Fury's tank was fine. I don't think he fatigued a little bit in the fight, but I don't know. I think I spoke to his team. They were perfectly happy with the condition he was in. He's a freakishly sized man, remember, so he can carry that weight. He doesn't always look the best, but it just didn't work for him.
I was listening to there was some brilliant footage of it. You could listen to the corners, what they were saying. You could watch it on I watched on YouTube, and I was listening to what they were saying, and Fury's corner were telling him that Usyk was stealing the rounds in the last 10 seconds.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if the weight he was carrying was wearing him out, in the last part of the round.
It was where Usyk was positioning himself and throwing flurries, and it's an old trick to steal the rounds, busy early, busy late in the rounds, because that's what the judges remember, those eye-catching moments, and they just were very smart, Usyk and his team. I think I heard while we were doing comms for talkSPORT, we heard the corners several times, and you could hear Sugar Hill Stewart in Fury's corner saying, this is tight, you need to win the round, so you need to be busier, you need to effing do this and effing do that. And it was a very close fight, Dean. It really was. And that's why what I enjoyed about Fury afterwards, in terms of supporting the Brit, was that he was annoyed with himself afterwards, that he was annoyed with the judging, he was annoyed that he hadn't won. And for me, that means there may be something more in him where we might see him not retire now, that he may stick around for a bit longer, but not that much longer, I don't think.
Let's quickly move on to Johnny Fisher's controversial points victory over Dave Allen. You were there in Riyadh, obviously calling the shots, and you and Spencer Oliver referred to that decision as diabolical. And for anyone that hasn't heard your IFL TV interview yesterday with Johnny's dad, Big John, it's a bit of a Christmas cracker. Let's listen to a bit of it.
The way you and Spencer went over the top, I thought you were serious journalists. You showed how incapable you are of actually reporting.
Did Johnny win that fight, John?
Sorry?
Did Johnny win that fight?
He won the fight. Yeah, I watched it back. He won round 1 to 4, round 10, and round 7. You could have called it for Johnny. So for you to say it was a robbery and disgusting,
I said
Gareth,
I thought
you was welcome in my house before. You'll never be welcome in my house again because I think you acted like a complete and utter disgrace. All right, and I'll tell you to your face because I'm a man. I'm not holding back. Anyone can say they think Dave won the fight. Yeah. Dave's team themselves said it wasn't a robbery, and you're shouting out things like that. I've lost all respect for you. People used to tell me, don't respect Gareth Davies. I've said no,
well, that's fine. Right. That's fine.
Totally lost all respect.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you go and have your dinner and we'll get on with the interview. Thanks, John.
Never come and see me again and never ask for my advice in anything ever again.
I don't need your advice. Thank you
do, sir. You do, because you have not got a clue. And when I see you, I'll tell you. All right?
That's it. You've told me now.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Bush.
Merry Christmas to you, Dad.
I don't think he meant that.
Crikey. You upset the dad there, Gareth.
Well, it's just staggering to me that someone can't take the fact that you make a comment. I don't call it diabolical. I thought the judging was a disgrace. I thought Dave Allen won clearly. And listen, John's a great character, and Johnny Fisher, his son, who's more important to me than his father. And John is a great character in the sport, Big John. Look, I don't think he won the fight, and I just gave my opinion on it. And I think people are tired. I think they're disappointed. I think they're, I can't really say a lot more other than what I said to him last night, which is I gave my opinion on the fight. I thought the judging was a disgrace. I thought Dave Allen won the fight.
Well, you weren't alone in thinking that. Others thought the same.
I also said, Natalie, that Johnny Fisher showed so much mettle to stay in the fight. He really showed his mettle. And it made an amazing event, an amazing fight. But, people got their opinions about things. People get, his son's just been through a 10-round war. But it wasn't a criticism of Johnny. Johnny didn't do anything wrong. It was just the judging. I wasn't criticising his son. And I think his scoring there makes it a draw anyway, rather than his son winning. So,
Gareth, appreciate you being with us this morning.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Gareth.
To you as well. Yes, Johnny Fisher.
He's looking more and more like Bono. Isn't he, Gareth? Every time I see him.
He did.
Didn't he?
If you were tuning in on YouTube, then you would have seen, of course, Gareth. Yeah, absolutely looking like the rock star that he always looks like.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.